Songs like Papa Was a Rolling Stone by The Temptations, Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye, Smiling Faces Sometimes by The Undisputed Truth, and Car Wash by Rolls Royce, to name a few, as well as some legendary albums like Off the Wall by Michael Jackson, Body Heat by Quincy Jones, and Now by Maxwell. These songs and albums have one thing in common, which is the distinctive riffs, licks, and grooves of such a great guitarist, writer, producer, and artist. The focus of today's video is all about Wah Wah Watson. Before we get started, please be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push that notification bell to be sure you won't miss out on any more uploads. Now, without further ado, let's cue that intro. Melvin Ragan was born on December 8, 1950 in Richmond, Virginia, to a preacher and an evangelist. Ragan, like many other musicians, was raised in a church-going family. His mother bought him his first guitar for $15, which is about $155 in today's money, which he learned to play from a blind neighbor. Ragan was known to raise the ceiling whenever he performed in church. Before relocating to Detroit, he was a member of a Richmond band called the Montclairs as a teenager. He earned recognition after high school and was able to travel with the Euphonics and Jerome Braley. This led to him playing with Bobby Taylor in the Vancouvers in the late 1960s. When he wasn't playing with the band, he was a regular at the 20th Grand Club, where he frequently backed up various of Motown stars. After hearing the wah wah pedal deployed by Dennis Coffey, who at the time was Motown's main studio guitarist, Ragan then purchased a Crybaby brand wah wah pedal and rebuilt his whole guitar style around it.
When I first got to Motown, I didn't play the wah wah. But there was a guy named Dennis Coffey that did Cloud Nine, Ball of Confusion, and all that stuff. And I'm saying, damn, I said, where you get that from? He said, oh man, it's a wah wah pedal. You get it such and such. So I went and bought a wah wah pedal. So I looked at it, and it had the directions, and like up and down, up and down. And I said, whack-on, whack-on, whack-on. I said, but that's all it do? So I said, okay, fine. So I took this damn thing home, and I was like, whack-on, 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 whack. So every time we got a chance to play, we'd be playing, and I said, whack-on, 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 because that's all I knew, because I looked at the direction and said, just go back and forth. And I'll never forget the horn players. They were older guys, because we were young. And they said, I wish he turned that chicka chicka wah wah shit down. I just got to the point I'm saying, I would like to make it sound like something else other than wah wah, but have control of it, that if I wanted to say wah wah, it would say wah wah.
Ray Parker Jr., Ragan's protege, sold him a Gibson L5 guitar, which he used on 99% of his recordings. Les Paul altered the electronics on this guitar. Ragan was recruited in as a new member of the Funk Brothers by producer Norman Whitfield when he was about 20 years old. His first notable session was for Aaron Starr's Stop the War Now album in 1970. Ragan began what turned out to be a lengthy stay with the legendary 12-piece Motown band led by Hamilton Bohannon in the early 70s, which developed his signature technique, and this is where he picked up the name Wah Wah Watson. By this point, Watson had worked with nearly every Motown performer, including the Supremes, Junior Walker and the All-Stars, Gladys Knight and the Pips, and many others. Watson's guitar sound soon became an integral part of the 1970s Motown mix and the sound of the 70s with soul, funk, and R&B. Watson worked with all of Motown top producers, including Holland Dozier and Holland, Frank Wilson, and Johnny Bristol. But Norman Whitfield was the one who he always produced magic with. Throughout the 70s, Watson played on many albums such as the Jackson 5's ABC album, followed by the Undisputed Truth self-entitled album, and you can really hear these amazing tunes on the song Smiling Faces. The Temptations album, Masterpiece, and All Direction, and of course I have to point out these amazing guitar riffs that was showcased on Papa Was a Rolling Stone. The Four Tops album, Nature Planet, Love Unlimited album, Under the Influence of, and Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On. Most notably, the self-entitled single, especially the first 3 seconds of the song. I've been really trying, baby. He was one of the funk brothers that found success after Motown huge move out west in 1973. Norman Whitfield contacted Watson about playing on the Rare Earth album, and this was supposed to be a 4-day stay, but it ended up developing into a permanent stay in Los Angeles. While in LA, he met Herbie Hancock while playing on Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On section, and this was the beginning of their friendship and the start of a 2-decade partnership. Watson collaborated on several of Hancock's iconic albums, including Man-Child in 1975, Secrets in 1976, BSOP in 1977, Feet Don't Feel Me Now in 1979, and Mr. Hands in 1980, among many more. Between sections, Watson kept his on-stage performance razor sharp by playing major tours with a wide range of pop, soul, and jazz stars. The most notable tour he did was the summer of 1983 with Marvin Gaye, which ironically was Marvin Gaye's last tour. In the 70s, Watson's guitar parts earned him plenty of songwriting credits. During the remainder of the 70s, Watson played on many albums such as the Beach Boys' White Album in 1979, Cher, Take Me Home in 1979, Michael Jackson's Off the Wall in 1979, Quincy Jones' Body Heat in 1974, LaBelle, Chameleon in 1976, The Supremes' High Energy in 1976, The Pointer Sisters' Steppin' in 1975, Martha Reeves' self-entitled album in 1974, and in the 1978 single for Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive, among many more singles and albums. In 1976, Watson signed a solo deal with Columbia Records and he released his debut album called Elementary, with some notable singles such as Goo Goo Wah Wah, Sunset Boulevard, Together, and Bubbles. During the 80s, Watson worked on many albums such as Blondie, Auto American in 1980, Michael Jackson's Bad in 1987. Now during the 90s, he worked on more albums such as George Benson, Love Remembers in 1993, Quincy Jones, Q's Juke Joint in 1995, Maxwell's Urban Hang Suite in 1994, Brian McKnight's self-entitled album in 1992, and I Remember You in 1995, Michelle Delacacello, Plantation Lullabies in 1993, and Peace Beyond in 1996, and Vanessa Williams' The Comfort Zone in 1991, among many more. Watson was introduced to a whole new generation through neo soul and hip hop, including Brian McKnight, Angie Stone, Lisa Stanfield, and Alicia Keys, to name a few. During the 2000s, he worked on many albums, including Young Bird's Look What You Made Me in 2008, Janet Jackson's Almeda Joe in 2004, Mesa Leaks Out of the Blue in 2002, Maxwell Now in 2001, Angie Stone, Black Diamond in 2000, Alicia Keys, Unplugged in 2005, and Element of Freedom in 2009, and the soundtrack of Shaft in 2000. And in 2015, he also played on Tyrese's album, Black Rose. Aside from music, Watson's other interest was teaching and passing his experience in music to the younger generation. Watson, together with Hancock, Joshua Redman, and Clark Terry, performed at the Thelonious Monk Institute. Watson also played for children in the LA Unified School District of Jazz mentoring program. In October of 2003, he was honored by the Motown Historical Museum tribute to the man of Motown in Detroit. Watson sadly passed away on October 24th, 2018 at the age of 67. Wawa Watson has been in the music industry for over 40 years, and he made an everlasting impression. His enduring guitar riffs will be heard for years through classic songs. One thing I want you guys to remember is that you don't always have to be the voice on the record to leave an incredible impression on everyone throughout the whole world.